Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
On today's Going In Raw News Beef, we're going to talk about the latest on where SummerSlam will take place, The Rock buying the XFL. We review the worst pay-per-view ever, TalkNShopAMania, and preview tonight's Raw. But first, news broke over the weekend that the WWE has plans for a new draft. Larson, what's in the news?
What's in the news? Well, it hardly seems like it's been a year. It has been. It's been about 10 months since WWE held their last draft around the time SmackDown moved over to Fox.
Oh, what a fun time that was, man. You had the big robot from Fox Sports.
Cletus, man.
Cletus. And then the USA team, like with Crisley in there doing the draft. That was fun times. Anyways, I'm sorry.
That was fun.
Ahead.
Anyways, yeah. So according to Fightful Select, go subscribe to Fightful Select.
Yeah.
It's great. It sounds like WWE may have another draft in the works, but who knows when it'll happen. Fightful is reporting that, quote, a draft was originally set for the end of August before being moved to September. After it was set for September, it was moved to August, then back and forth again. Fightful also notes that they have yet to hear any concrete plans for when the draft is currently, when it may happen, what brands may be involved. Only that, quote, plans have changed numerous times. That is a constant theme inside WWE.
Yeah, we'll get to that a little bit later because apparently today plans have been changing left and right. But yeah, this is kind of mildly interesting, I guess. I mean, you know, you got to figure. One thing I read over the weekend was that Paul Heyman really was like, when it came to the draft, him and who was Bischoff like? Bischoff didn't have anything to do with the SmackDown draft, the SmackDown end of things, did he? Yeah, that's
Don't
weird.
think so.
Because wasn't he the executive director at the time? I thought he was. I thought that was.
It might have been towards the tail end of his tenure, though, too, because he wasn't there very long.
Yeah, that could be. So yeah, I don't know. Now with Heyman out of the picture, it'll be interesting. This is going to be basically Vince and Bruce sort of figuring out, you know, who, especially with the some high-profile, you know, wrestlers that are missing, Becky Lynch, Roman Reigns. I mean, each of those are obviously on different brands. But then there's the potential that Seth Rollins might leave at some point to go, you know, be a dad or to help Becky Lynch prepare to be like parents and stuff. So yeah, there's like, you know, I don't know. How do you feel like the rosters shake out now in terms of parity, in terms of being even? I think they actually shake out pretty decently.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wildly uneven about how the rosters are shaped now. How much of this delay and postponement and schedule changing has to do with hoping for fans to be back versus just waiting enough time, you know, since the last draft to elapse before doing a roster reshuffle again? Who knows? I would suspect they would prefer to have draft episodes in front of fans, so you have, you know, someone come out, such and such has been drafted to this brand, they come out, something happens, I guess. I don't know, maybe they have some NXT aspect involved in it. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, right now it just sort of, I don't know. It seems like things are just, I don't know how much like a draft is gonna, like, yeah, like when a new face shows up, there's nobody there to pop for it.
But if you want to pop TV ratings, you build up to a draft, and people are like, oh, who's going to go where?
Well, let me ask you that. So, like, that's, yeah. I am actually pretty pessimistic at this point that really anything can pop ratings. I just don't know what'll do it. Like, it's just WWE without fans, especially like WWE's product. It's just, it feels weird, and like it just feels like they're in this black hole of, like, you know, it's like, yeah, I can still be entertained by SmackDown, I can be relatively entertained by a decent Raw. NXT still kind of feels the same. I'm a big fan of NXT, but they're filming at the same place, and Full Sail was never like a big, huge capacity place, anyways. So I don't know if it would pop ratings. Like it comes down to, like, you need decent stories.
Well, I think it's a situation where you build it up, you have pop ratings for a week. You want to tune in to see who's going where, but after that's all done, nothing's going to be maintained. And it's not going to be like going from 1.8 to 3. It'll go from 1.8 to, if they're lucky, 2.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be a substantial increase, and it's not going to be maintained. But,
you know,
they're looking for something to get the numbers up even short term.
Here in chat, the Mayor Pete says Rock, Austin, and Mankind coming back and wrestling full time would pop ratings maybe. I was watching I don't know, somebody posted a clip of there was a mixed tag match from the Attitude Era, The Rock and Lita versus Triple H and Trish Stratus, and I was thinking to myself, I was trying to visualize what it would look like, those guys, because I know you're a big fan of the Empty Arena match. Back in the day, like the 19, I always hated that match. I always thought it was so bad because like of the lack of fans. And that's my point of reference for when I think, okay, what if this did happen back in the Attitude Era? What if they try to do this in the Attitude Era? And you just have Rock coming out there and Triple H. And back then, even more so than today, the fans really were another character.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
They definitely were. It
was like the enthusiasm was off the charts. Everybody brought signs. It was just, they were part of the show. And I think, man, even with that level of talent, like the shows would kind of suck with the way it is now. You know, it's just a crappy way to produce wrestling. Without,
it's not ideal. No, you just have to get creative with it. That's so that's why we see cinematic matches these days. Is them just trying to get out of the rut of presenting wrestling as normal under circumstances that are not normal.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for fans. Maybe they're gonna do it like you said, just to shake things up and maybe see what new matchups. Because I understand it has been 10 months. The matchup scene. I mean, one thing I think they really need to fix is their tag team division. They honestly should just like do the same thing they do with that they do with the women. Is just have one tag team championship across brands. Like SmackDown is a complete joke. You got the Usos, one of them's injured. You got they never really treat Heavy Machinery as a tag team, even though I get the feeling that this Friday will probably get a match because the Miz and
Lucha
Morrison
House
thing.
Party are on and off on a far too regular basis. New Day, at least one of the members is hurt. I've yet to hear anything whether Kofi is actually hurt or just taking time off.
In kayfabe, Kofi is, and Big E obviously is on a singles run right now.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, I kind of feel like they just need to do that, but it is what it is. So that'll be kind of interesting. Also kind of interesting, just today, before we went live, Gary Cassidy from, I believe he does work for Sportskeeda, is reporting that today's TV tapings are a total mess.
What a surprise.
He tweeted this out. From what I've been told, today's WWE Raw is apparently, quote, totally unprepared, and there's chaos from the top. 2 shows are being taped, with the first is changing on the fly, while the second is still apparently incomplete. Apparently there's a lack of leadership and a lot of stress due to the indecisiveness. I've been told, quote, the shows will happen and air, but there's no attainable goal of quality because everything is decided under the pressure cooker of it all coming down to the very last minute. Also, quote, one more exact quote, Vince's mood is described as volatile as a result of the indecisiveness and chaos of today. One last note there from the Wrestling Observer himself. Dave Meltzer seems to affirm this report, says, tweeted this out. A quick note, this is accurate, very chaotic today.
So let me get this right. Vince's mood is volatile as a result of indecisiveness. Well, who's being indecisive? He calls the shots. Now, is he indecisive because he's volatile? Or is he volatile because he's indecisive?
It's a chicken and the egg. Gary Cassidy also tweets this out. He says, I should add, I've lost count how many consecutive weeks I've been told there's chaos, multiple rewrites, etc. going into Raw and SmackDown. And, of course, the show always goes on. However, the stuff I've been told about what's going on today seems even wilder than usual. Yeah, I mean, we've heard this before, but apparently in this case, it's even worse than it was before. This is an absolute... It's just start running some vintage footage and give us like an hour and a half of new stuff, man.
I know.
It's.
I know.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I totally don't get it. Like, he's the guy. You know, like you get the script from the writers. Bruce Pritchard, I'm assuming, sort of weeds out the ideas. I mean, I don't know how it goes down. I'm just assuming. Yeah,
I mean, my understanding is they have their writing staff, and then they pitch ideas, and then the episode is written, and then all goes through Bruce, I would assume, and then once that's done, it goes up to Vince, and Vince looks over, gives notes, and goes back down to the creative staff, and so on and so forth. That's my understanding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or it gets to the point where Vince decides to start rewriting stuff himself, but yeah, it's just the indecisive aspect of it is interesting.
Let's do this just for the sake of like talking about this right now. Let's do a Raw preview now.
All right, fair enough. There's some good stuff that's at least previewed for the show.
Well, also, who knows how much of this stuff will actually still happen?
I know.
First up, will Asuka be out for Retribution on Sasha Banks and Bayley?
Next, how will Drew McIntyre respond to Randy Orton's attack?
And next, so okay, those first two, you could totally not know what's going to happen on Raw, like in terms of like you don't even
They're
need
vague
to,
enough. They're vague enough too. That could be anything too. You know,
like yeah. Last week when you're watching this, you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, I wonder how Drew's going to respond to Randy Orton's RKO." Oh,
and those are the only two
what
right now
listed,
at least as of like maybe an hour ago on WWE.com on their official. Well, they didn't even have an official preview as of an hour ago.
Mm-hmm. This was on Twitter, wasn't it? MVP versus Apollo Crews.
The next two were on Twitter, yeah, and then also Shane McMahon is supposed to be on Raw. We'll see if that happens.
I wonder what that's all about. Is he going to announce the draft?
Maybe.
I don't know. I do feel like Raw has lacked an authority type figure, and it kind of needs that. You know, dude.
Yeah, but I don't want Shane back in that role though.
This is terrible.
The show always becomes about him.
This is so bad. You know what I was actually thinking this morning, and I had to check myself. I kind of miss the days when stupid storylines like, oh, somebody's going to buy the WWE out from under Vince. We're going on. Because it felt like you were part of a company. It felt like
yeah, I know.
More things were happening, and it wasn't just this weird, nebulous, lawless time where like nobody really was. It honestly feels like the wrestlers have been ditched by like the writers and the producers and the owners of the company. That's what it feels like whenever I watch like, oh, Stephanie will happen to FaceTime in. Oh, hey, Sasha, you can't do that. So you're gonna have a match next week. Click.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's kind of a mess. Anyways, what do the friendos think? I want to know if you guys want to see another draft. Do you guys think the rosters should be mixed and matched and moved around? Let us know in the comments below. Who do you want to see go to Raw or SmackDown or NXT or move brands or stay or not? Yeah, who do you want to see go to main event?
Who goes main event?
Baron Corbin should be the new figurehead of main event, Larson.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Speaking of plans changing, more indecisiveness, SummerSlam. So over the last couple of weeks, we've heard a bevy of rumors about where SummerSlam might take place. Would it be on the beach or on a boat somewhere in the Northeast? WrestleVotes has potential update on that ongoing saga, tweeting today that, quote, I've been told by two different sources over the weekend that the feeling is SummerSlam will be happening outside the Performance Center. Seems like WWE found a location, northeastern part of the U.S. No word on if fans will be in attendance or not just yet. So Vince's desire was a show where fans would be there, even a small number.
Yeah,
outside the Performance Center. That seemed to be his criteria. I remember reading at some point last week that WWE, you know, they held Money in the Bank on the roof of Titan Towers. Apparently, amongst their production facilities, they have a ring set up as well, which I think I read was used for the Firefly Funhouse match. So that's a possibility because that is in the Northeast. Outside of that, I have no idea.
Well, let's take a look. I'm going to look at my COVID tracker, Larson.
Oh, yeah. Get your COVID tracker up.
Where's the map? I want the map. They promised me a map, and then I don't see a map here. Hold on a second.
No map for you, Steve.
I know, right? This is a very spur-of-the-moment type situation. Here from the CDC. Let's see what they have to say. Hi, Steve and Larson. This is Dr. Fauci. Let's see here. Okay, and so the north, it's the Northeast is a mess. But once you get north of New York, like Maine would be perfect. There's a lot of open areas in Maine.
Yeah, there's also not a whole lot of people.
Right. But you know, you can fix that. You can bring people, fly people in. People will show up. They'll come out from how far is it from Boston to I don't know the southern Maine.
I don't know.
Oh, I can zoom in. Cool. Hold on a second.
You gonna find the county in Maine with the fewest cases?
Let's see here. Okay, so if you just go to Augusta. No, go to where is this? Portland, Maine. Go to Portland, Maine. Go to Portland, Maine.
All right.
What is this? Cumberland County, only 68 deaths, 2,000 cases confirmed.
Yeah.
There you go. Or Saco. So what about Portsmouth? That's a... What is that? Where is that? What is the state? I don't know. This is New Hampshire? What is this?
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah. Try that. And it's on the beach, too. Or at least it's near the water.
It's near the water.
It's near the choppy Atlantic waters.
I know. The
Perfect
cold,
for
choppy
SummerSlam.
Atlantic on a rocky beach.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, they'll pull
anyways,
something out of their ass.
Speaking of rocks, The Rock bought the XFL. The recently bankrupt XFL has found itself a new owner. He's set to make it the most electrifying football league in all sports. Sportico reported today that, quote, the XFL has been sold to a group that includes former WWE superstar Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, giving the bankrupt football league the kind of star power that may draw even more non-sports fans. Johnson, an actor and producer who played college football at the University of Miami, the U, teamed up with Gary Cardinal's Redbird Capital to buy the league just hours before a planned auction was scheduled to begin. They paid $15 million, splitting it evenly. Johnson's business partner, Danny Garcia, who is also his ex-wife, will be an equal stakeholder with him. The Rock took to Twitter to comment on the purchase, saying, quote, with my trailblazing partner, Danny Garcia and Redbird Capital, we have acquired the XFL with gratitude and passion. I've built a career with my own two hands. We'll apply these calluses to our XFL brand. Excited to create something special for the fans.
$15 million. That's interesting, I guess. That's cool. I mean, I guess he probably looked at, number one, The Rock, just a complete household name at this point. Mm-hmm. He's verging on iconic status in American pop culture. And that legend will only grow. So good for him. Hopefully he can do something cool with it. It seemed like the early results before pandemic seemed fairly promising, Larson.
Yeah, they the change in presentation did a lot of good. The quality of the football was still really hit or miss, week to week, team to team. I heard about some games that are actually pretty fun and pretty exciting. A couple I watched were a major snooze fest because the quality of play wasn't that great. Yeah. But that's some of those things that as you move through the season or several seasons, in theory, you hone the presentation. You get a team and keep them together for a few seasons. They can develop together. The quality of play, in theory, should improve.
Listen to this. This is speaking of. I don't know. There's no segue here. That's interesting stuff. According to White Brownie, is this true? TNT programming alert. Week of August 17th. Through the NBA schedule, AEW Dynamite will make the following shifts on TNT. The Wednesday, August 19th episode will air on Saturday, August 22nd.
That's interesting.
At 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. The Wednesday, August 26th episode will air Thursday, August 27th, so just a day later, at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. The Wednesday, September 16th episode will air Thursday, September 17th.
I had not heard that. That's interesting.
This is according to White Brownie here in the chat, and he's a good friendo, so I'm assuming that's correct. But let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the what the old Twitter machine has to say.
Yeah. Let us see. Anything?
I don't see anything yet. That'd be like the most boring joke in the world if White Brownie just made that as a joke. Oh, TNT sent out a press release, according to White Brownie. Wow. Interesting stuff.
The 22nd, then that'd be the same day as Takeover before SummerSlam.
Oh, wow. All right.
It's earlier in the day. Well, about an hour earlier.
Alex C says it'd be such a weirdly well planned out joke too. I know, like he has like a press release drawn up.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I was watching a lot of basketball this past weekend.
I could tell.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. Jorge D backing up White Brownie's exclusive.
There we go.
Got our own little band of wrestling journos here in the thing. So that's interesting. Anyways, let's see here. What's next? Oh, yeah. All right, man. Now is the time, Larson, when we get to talking Shop-A-Mania. I watched it live. You watched it today, correct?
I watched most of it Saturday night.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Not live, after the fact.
Yeah.
And then watched I watched the main event, the Boneyard match, this morning.
What was your big takeaway from talking Shop-A-Mania?
It was pretty silly, but that was the point of it. They marketed it as the worst pay-per-view ever.
Sure.
Throughout the show, they kept on referencing what a pile of garbage it was.
Yeah.
But again, that was the point of it. It was like an unwrestling show, you know?
Yes. Yeah. It was like an anti-wrestling show. That's exactly what I was thinking while I was watching it.
They took all the spectacle out of it, made fun of spectacle, took anything resembling a traditional wrestling match out of it.
It was the closest thing I could think of to anything Friendomania would be. If we ever did a Friendomania, it would closely resemble this. One of the things that I really loved about it is that there were so many times where they were stationed. I mean, there's a bunch that I loved about it, but like in keeping with the low production value, I saw so many shots of action happening on a long shot, which is like a wide shot, right?
Yeah.
Where you could see camera people filming stuff that would be from angles far more interesting, and yet they never utilize those camera angles.
There was a lot of interlacing issues with the footage as well.
Oh, that I didn't notice.
Oh, really? It was bad. There was a lot of interlacing.
I didn't see that. I would have noticed that. I always notice that stuff.
Really?
That must have been on you. That must have been on your stream, I guess, because I didn't see that on mine.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Oh wow, that's a bummer. Yeah, I didn't get none of that happened on my stream. Maybe it was the live versus the versus the rebroadcast. Maybe
could be.
So it kicked off with like a really bad but like an intentionally bad battle royal. We'll just do this. What was your favorite thing of the whole thing? Because it's got to be Carl Anderson and Maria dancing, right?
That was great. The chemistry between Carl and Gallows and Rocky was they were funny together.
And Chavo as well.
And Chavo was pretty funny. The thing that may have popped me the most because it was so pitch perfect in terms of what it was representing was the 80s Russians. When they came out with the lower third in the timing of their announcement, man, I just laughed because the presentation with the chains and everything. I don't get when there was people that were doing the Russian gimmick in the 80s. Seemingly in the NWA, if that was your gimmick, you had the chains, and I don't know why. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I still don't understand why. But like the presentation of it, the name, everything about it, just I don't know. That made me laugh a lot.
I loved the spot in what was the big fella's name in the Battle Royal? Oh,
Freight Train?
Yeah, Freight Train. I loved the first bit with him. He comes in and everybody just runs at him, and he just, the most lazy way possible, puts his hand on their back and sort of guides them as they like flip themselves over.
Yeah.
That was hilarious. The stuff with Carl Anderson and Maria killed me. The line, I'd F Mike to get to Maria. I thought that was good. I thought his extended dance sequence was hilarious. I like the Boneyard match was hilarious. Because it was so long, it was so dumb, and you have like that fake AJ hand sticking out of the dirt.
Uncle Alan.
Carl Anderson looks like he's like, "Oh, Uncle Alan, why didn't you save us in New York? Why didn't you save us? I know you tried, and that's why you went to the other show." Oh my God!
There was a lot of funny stuff. All the crap talk during the main event was really funny between Gallows and Anderson. There's a lot of details that were really funny. The presentation was basically amateur, but again, that was the point.
Just the commentary throughout the show, just cracking up over how stupid it was. I loved. Asking Teddy Long getting on Penzer for having a dirty shirt on.
Yeah.
That stuff made me laugh. I don't know, man. I thought it was so much fun. I think nobody in wrestling says mother effer the way Gallows does as Sex Ferguson. Oh my God. Why'd you hit me in my dick? You didn't have to hit me in my cock.
I know.
Oh God, that was.
What was the
funny
line?
stuff.
He says, "Your balls smell like tuna fish."
Yeah, that was just hilarious, man. Yeah, the edit Jorge D has. Yeah, I want Chad to talk about it because like it's hard. Like I didn't write any notes for this stupid thing.
No, I didn't either.
Jorge D says the Swoggle edit made him look like he was coming off the top rope, and they just ripped into it. They're like, "Who edited this crap?"
Yeah, I know.
That was hilarious. White Brownie's asking me to check my Twitter. I'm assuming this
Probably
has to
for
do
that
with
press release. Yes.
breaking news. Breaking news. Here we go. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. Yep. Oh, that'll be interesting. Got to throw off our whole routine.
Yep.
TNT.
So at the end, though, Chad Too Bad defeated Sex Ferguson to retain the championship. Shoveled some dirt on his front area. A bunch of fireworks went off, and they teased maybe another show. Oh yeah, Tony brings up the Chavo versus Chico match in Gallo's basement gym. That was pretty fun.
I did think it was funny when they had Enzo come out and deliver just the most intentionally lackluster promo. Because like it's literally the opposite of what like we're used to with him.
In his normal voice. In his shoot voice.
Exactly, in his normal voice, exactly.
And the punchline is, I knew I was going to lose money in this trip, and I sure as hell did.
Jorge D says, how can we forget about the appearance of the legend Stang? Heath Slater as Sting. Oh yeah, that's right. And they had like a sort of a Being the Elite-esque flashback to contract negotiations with that was really fun to see that.
Well, I thought the bit, as I mentioned, with the 80s Russian bit, the whole larger packaging of that about kind of poking fun at nostalgia in wrestling was actually kind of entertainingly done. He had Willie Mack in there dropping stunners and all that. That was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, so that was good stuff. Let us know what you guys thought about TalkNShopAMania in the comments below. And you know what I loved about it the most, though, is that like everybody in the wrestling world was talking about it. Like Randy Orton, but like right before I was going on air, said, I hope this piece of shit like, burns and crashes and burns. But he used the hashtag, so he's obviously just trying to help them promote it. Everybody was, just talking so much crap about it, trying to get people to tune in and how bad it was. The hour and a half headlock from the Nature Boy.
Oh yeah, Paul
Lee, yeah. Gary MacArthur here in chat says, going to the hospital tomorrow for some cancer bullshit, then a week of isolation. Wish me luck. Good luck,
best
Gary.
Of luck, Gary. Best of luck.
Best of luck. With that said, why don't we go ahead and start answering some of these questions?
Or do you want to do some mail?
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for reminding me. I have a ton of mail sitting here that I've had from
Is there anything
pre-pandemic.
from Doug Kokel? Because I know he said he has sent us some stuff. So if you got something from Doug Kokel.
Give me one moment, and I'll go find out.
Steve's got to go to the mail room.
I'm going to go to the mail room.
So I guess while you do that, I can start answering some questions while you get to that. Of course, you can submit questions for our Monday mailbag on our Twitter. Whenever you see the thread go up with Kevin Nash whiteboard gif, it's time for questions. First up from Anthony, seeing Dwayne buy the XFL today. And just seeing how insanely beyond wrestling he's grown, is there or can there ever be another talent that becomes as big or close to as big as he's become after leaving the business? I mean, like John Cena's got the potential. I think Becky Lynch does too. It's about getting opportunities, capitalizing on those opportunities. And, The Rock's ascent to the top of Hollywood wasn't overnight. It took a long time. It took a lot of opportunities, and eventually it took him really getting into the Fast and Furious franchise when he became essentially a top movie star in the whole world. But it didn't happen overnight, so it's going to take time. But yeah, I think Cena could do it. Becky could do it.
The clock is kind of ticking on Cena, though. His appearance in the Fast and Furious franchise is really gonna. That's gonna.
Yeah, I mean that's what did it for The Rock.
I'm not going to say it's a make or break by any stretch of the imagination, but it is going to be, at the very least, if that's not like a kicking off point, I don't know what could be. All right, so local Doug Kokel.
Yep.
Should have brought a little knife in here. Oh, some people are asking about the date of the 24-hour stream. I figure you and I can talk about it after the show today and get that ironed out.
Sure.
So we can start.
Patrick Sparks, associate wrestlers with sandwiches. Which wrestler reminds you of a ham sandwich, chicken salad, peanut butter and jelly, etc.? Otis is a ham sandwich.
Otis is a ham sandwich.
Otis is a ham sandwich.
Who's a delicious on sourdough with 4 types of cheese, grilled cheese? Who's the cheesiest wrestler? A steak sandwich is Baron Corbin. Because he has successfully associated himself with steaks on his social media.
Yeah. Cheesy. Here's someone.
Oh, that's
cheesy.
a good one. I feel that. Jorge D says the New Day or peanut butter and jelly. I feel that. Kids love it. Very colorful.
God, who's super cheesy? What about no? I don't know. I'm having trouble with that one. Chicken salad. You think anybody for chicken salad?
Brock Lesnar. Because isn't he the guy who said turn chicken shit into chicken salad? Or at least
sure.
like he had said that on air once before. It was on a 10
Sure.
win, I think.
There you go.
Let's see here. So Doug taught himself how to crochet with YouTube. And so he included in this with some scarves, some coasters, and some ear savers for face mask ear loops.
Cool.
Look at that. They got some coasters here.
Cool.
Look at that. That's so
Those are
nice.
great.
This makes me wish it was like winter time. Because it looks so cozy. Look at that. Got a little scarf right here.
Oh, man. That's cool.
That's cool. Look at that one. It's like a slow wolf pack.
That's
That's
very
going to
cool.
be mine. That's going to be mine right there. That's cool. Oh, look. It's got the... For the masks.
That's so cool.
Right there. Oh, this is like Constructicon colors.
Which one is it going to be for you, though? A slow wolf pack or Constructicon?
There's a bunch of stuff going on here. Well,
Oh,
you and
yeah.
I each get a Constructicon.
Oh, cool.
But then over here we've got Slow Wolf Pack. You get purple and teal.
All right, fair enough.
There you go.
I guess that'll be the team colors for the Sacktown Coldwater. So I already get that up and going on in NBA.
Are the
2K20.
Charlotte Hornets still a thing?
Yeah, they are.
Weren't they this colors?
Yeah.
Didn't they add purple in their stuff?
Yeah, that's right. Purple and teal.
Well, you can rip them off.
Maybe easy. Thought of one of the best ideas ever with fans at the Rumble not looking the best. I guess the prospect of it. How about a cinematic Royal Rumble? What would it look like, and who are the early favorites to win each one?
Okay, who is the favorite to win the Rumble?
God, we're only 5 months out.
I mean, you think it got to be like... I'll go with Big E. I'm going to say
Good.
Big E's singles
That's good.
run is going to be successful, and he's going to win
That
the
sounds
Rumble.
good. I like that. I like that a lot.
I got this piece of mail here from Carmen Childers. Do you think the Rumble should be cinematic? I guess why not? I would say yeah. I would be down for that.
Short of them trying to find a way to do it really creatively rather than how they've been doing a lot of the cinematic efforts of late, which are just kind of brawls captured on slightly better cameras.
Well, yeah, but the last time there was a cinematic with the same sort of like...
No, it was a Money in the Bank thing, but also
Yeah, that was like the
that was
best
a much
one.
larger space to work with. Royal Rumble kind of has to be in a ring because the whole rule is you toss someone out.
It's cinematic. You do what you want. I'm down for it. I mean, it's going to be 1 year.
Alex
Like
Foster, if you
30
guys
or
ran a wrestling promotion, how would Vince, Tony Khan, and others describe it? I doubt any of them would recognize the genius of Mecha Santa. They'd probably see fun wrestling, and Vince would be like, "What's this early '90s bullshit?"
So Carmen Childers says, I've been a huge fan from the Machinima days and just wanted to send a small token of appreciation for the many hours of laughter you two and the Friendoverse have supplied. Carmen Childers. And it is a signed picture of Dr. Wagner Jr.
Oh, cool.
Isn't that cool?
That's so cool.
I'll put it up on the thing back there.
Fear and Loathing asks, you see that Meltzer is reporting your Going and Raw partner signed a huge deal to co-host a podcast with Hulk Hogan called You Got Me, Brother. How do you react to this news? So I open up Twitter and I wake up in the morning and Meltzer saying that Steve here signed a huge lucrative deal to host the new podcast, Podcast Me Brother with Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
How do I react?
How do you react to that one?
I'd be like, so what's the deal? You still have time to do our stuff? You were like, no, this is making me way too much money. Why would I bother with this?
Number one, I would never say that. I would do that, by the way. I would totally do that. And if I said, yeah, this is making me a lot of money, but we'll figure something out. It'll be like Murder, She Wrote, that season where she focused more on like her friends than her. So I would do a pre-recorded thing, because let's face it, the Hogan thing's not going to last forever. So I'll be back. But, you know, that's going to get us a lot of exposure, drive a lot of traffic to the channel, make me personally a lot of money. And yeah, that's it, Mattress Man. That's happening.
All right. If the flip happened, that I was the one who was hosting it, how would you react to that?
I would be like, that's rad. Like, you know, give it your all. Whatever you need from me, you have. I take on whatever challenges are in front of me.
Nick, 2 questions. One, with the rumors of the draft happening or supposedly taking place in October and November, should WWE include NXT or just stick to Raw and SmackDown? And also, would you guys do Quizlemania's new cinema quiz show if invited? Thanks, Friendo. So I'll answer the second part first. If this was like 5 years ago, heck yeah. I do not keep up with movies as much as I used to. So I feel like I would go on there and potentially embarrass myself.
Yeah, we do the same thing on Quizlemania. Of course we're going to do it. Sign us up. Absolutely.
Well, I would do it because it's good, but yeah, I don't really feel that confident in how well I would do. Should NXT be involved in the next WWE draft? Heck yes.
Yeah, of course.
I think that'd be awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you and I are of the same opinion that we feel like NXT should be considered properly a third brand. Like, I don't think they do. I don't think they do at all. And that bums me out. I think that they had it right at Survivor Series. Like, hey, we're this, you know, we might be younger or we might be newer, but we can compete on any level. And they just went back. They immediately following that, they reverted. It was terrible. I was not happy about that. JB the Rocker here chimed in with 100 bits. Said, been a fan for nearly 4 years and have loved every podcast you guys have done. You guys inspired my cousin and I to do our own wrestling podcast. Thanks for the laughs and keep up the great work. Cool. Too sweet and a hearty handshake.
Cool. Blake Elizondo. What would the Firefly Funhouse match have been if it were 2010 Cena in the match? There would have been as much stuff to work with. There's a whole decade of John Cena mythology that allowed him to do it. I mean, in 2010, that was the year he single-handedly buried the Nexus.
Yeah.
I guess you could have done something about that. And Bray, formerly known as Husky Harris, could have involved that in some capacity. Hi, Steve and Larson. Which wrestlers do you think should cross over to the XFL? Who would be the coaches? And it just says here, Mongo.
Perfect. Mongo McMichael, keen mind. Who could so?
Oh, here's a coach for you. We don't see him much in the wrestling ring. He used to play football. Titus O'Neil.
Oh yeah,
have him be a coach.
That'd be good. I would prefer they shift some commentary over to the XFL. So give me Morrow and Nigel McGuinness together as a team. And Nigel's like, you know, maybe not as up to date or as knowledgeable on American football as he is on, say, professional wrestling.
Yeah.
So, you know, he'd be like calling, you know, like tackles, he'd call them spears instead.
There you go.
He'd be trying to like figure out like, oh, what, you know, he'd be like applying rugby logic to football, to American football.
Or soccer.
Or football.
Rules. football
European
rules.
football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or world, yeah. Whatever it's called.
Dominic Malnar, what is one thing that AEW can improve on? I think the debuts have been lackluster, especially Matt Cardona's. It doesn't seem like a huge deal. No big impact, just beat up some jobbers, hug Cody, and then commercial break.
Yeah, I've heard that sentiment echoed. I think that debut was perfect for a person of his caliber. I'm
really disappointed this women's tag thing is not apparently going to be on Dynamite.
Yeah, but I want to see the quality of the wrestling before I make that particular judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people being shoved together with no idea if there's any chemistry.
No, I understand.
They're pulling from a wide pool. I'm not sure. Like, if the wrestling is like outstanding, then yeah, they should be putting it on Dynamite. If they have like veteran wrestlers that are teaming together, then and tagging against each other, that we know can put on a good match, and put a couple of them on Dynamite. That being said, you know, who's Tainara Conti is teaming up with Anna Jay, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that match is going to look like, and I'm not trying to crap on anybody. It's the same thing to me. It's the same thing as why you're having more developmental wrestlers on Dark. It's because it's flat out wrestling ain't going to be that good. It's going to be serviceable. They're learning, but the wrestling ain't going to be that good. Do you want that on national TV? You know, there's
Hopefully
a reason why it's on YouTube.
We'll at least get maybe the finals or semifinals on Dynamite or All Out.
I'd be surprised if the finals weren't on Dynamite.
Yeah, I would hope so. Forever, TH. What is the biggest match WWE can do realistically before the end of 2020?
What is the biggest match they could do realistically? So, I mean, dude, the end of 2020 is still 4 months away. Well, 5 months away.
Well, it's got to be Sasha versus Bayley in terms of actual storylines going on.
That's true. I would think anything that involves Roman Reigns coming back.
Mm-hmm.
If things are safe by December, then that's probably the biggest thing they could do.
Yeah, this is from a Dragon with Scott Steiner's Shoney's closed down.
Yeah.
What do you think he will do now?
I just hopefully wait it out. I know that like one of the local eateries here in town, Annie's, they closed down too. I'm hoping they just, when things reopen, you know, whenever that's going to be, when things are safe, they're able to get back on their feet. You know, I mean, it's a bummer. So much of that stimulus money evidently has been going to places that really don't need it, and the places that do need it aren't getting it. So that's. I mean, I can't say it's necessarily surprising, but goddamn, that's such a drag that the system works that way.
Wrestling Graham, since we're more than halfway through 2020, do you have any predictions to match the absurdity we've seen this year?
Man, I don't even want to start. I want it all to be boring again. I want just normal stuff again. That's what I want.
Lord Ziffer, should Big E go for the Intercontinental title first in his singles run, or go straight to the Universal? Why choose when he can have both?
Goes for both at the same time.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Have him go the Intercontinental first. Should be like, dude, his singles run should be like career mode.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just go for the first one, then go for the next one.
Dalen Dula, today you awoke in an alternate timeline where everything is identical except that the creative directors of Raw and SmackDown are Neil Breen and Tommy Wiseau, respectively. Which wrestlers are thriving in this environment, and which show is putting out a more entertaining product?
Why did Neil Breen sounds familiar?
It does, but
is that
I
a
don't
British
know.
name?
So that's an American filmmaker.
Dude, I don't. Yeah, never mind. I don't know. Is he just like a real? Okay, wait a second. No, I'm starting to know. I'm starting to remember who this guy is. I think I've heard about this guy before. He's so like, okay, so people are saying he's just famous for making awful movies, like he's the other Tommy Wiseau. I mean, I've only seen bits and pieces of The Room.
Same here.
And the thing about Tommy Wiseau that I'm not sure about this Neil Breen character. Tommy Wiseau, he's got camera charisma.
He does.
He's got that, like, if he has nothing else, he has that weird face, and then he talks weird. So yeah,
it would be Tommy Wiseau's SmackDown then. It'd be probably the more entertaining show.
I agree. Maggie here just used Maggie Rita just used 100 bits to ask about the poster that she sent us, and I do have it. I'm going to go to the mailroom.
Oh, there you go. Greg Morris. Oh, this question's for you. I'll wait then. Dusty Ballskin, isn't it crazy how back in 2016 Raw was a show no one wanted to watch and everyone loved SmackDown, but now in 2020 the roles are reversed? What do you think caused this to happen?
It's changed like that a couple times over the years.
It does. It changes all over the place.
What causes it? I think that creative priorities.
That's the ebb and flow of who's doing creative where and what storylines they're focusing on. Like the whole time when Shane McMahon was seemingly the whole focus of SmackDown, it brought down the whole show.
That was unbearable.
And before that it was pretty good.
Yep.
Greg Morris, Steve, you're an alien. You need to steal the top 5, you need to steal the talent of 5 wrestlers like Space Jam. Who do you pick? Larson, you pick 1 wrestler to tag with 4 Looney Tunes. Who goes over in a Survivor Series match? So essentially, I need to find the Michael Jordan of wrestling. So I guess I'll take John Cena. John Cena.
Well, John Cena would be great, by the way, in a Space Jam movie. But for wrestling, what was my charge again? What am I supposed to do?
You are an alien. Need to steal the talent of 5 wrestlers.
Oh wow. I would steal the talents of. I'm assuming they have to be like relevant today. I would probably just take like the most powered up guys. I would take Keith Lee. I would take The Fiend because he's got weird supernatural powers.
Mm-hmm.
Take Randy Orton. I'd take Roman Reigns. And I would take Asuka.
There you go. Nate Shive, if you were given the chance to merge all 3 tag divisions on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, what are the first tag team feuds you're booking?
We're able to do what now?
You merge all the tag divisions in WWE. What is the
good.
first feud you book?
Okay, but the caveat is available now.
Yeah,
like New Day's not available.
Era,
Usos,
Undisputed Era versus New Day would be tops.
Yeah, I would go with. You know what I would do? I would still do Undisputed Era, but I'd have them feud against Cesaro and Shinsuke.
That'd be good.
I think that'd be really good.
That'd be good.
There's a lot of tissue on this thing.
Let's see here. Sean, what wrestlers would fit most if they were put in...
look at this. That's tight.
Oh, that's cool.
The Money in the Bank.
That's super cool.
When Asuka's falling. Thank you so much, Maggie.
Thank you so much.
Put this on the wall.
Sean asked what wrestler would fit most if they were put in a GTA world. I'm going to say Rich Holland.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's not a bad answer. That's a good answer. Yeah, that's good.
Tim Morris has an interesting question here. With Carl Fredericks being known as a lone wolf on New Japan, create a cross-promotions slow wolf pack. You got Baron and Carl Fredericks with the WWE and New Japan spots. Who would be the lone wolf representative from All Elite Wrestling and Impact?
Who's the lone wolf?
It has to be Adam Page then. From no, he was a drinking buddy.
Yeah, dude, I would have thought that before, but he's just really into drinking buddies now.
So then I would think Pac, but then he was in a faction too.
You know what I would say is, so this totally does and doesn't make sense, but I'd say Lance Archer. I know he's got Jake, but Jake is just sort of his mouthpiece.
Adrian C says Darby Allin. Darby Allin just kind of does his own thing. That's a good pick.
That's a really good pick.
What about an Impact?
Oh, well, being the Impact. expert here of the two.
Yeah, obviously. That's why I defer to you.
Probably Moose. You know, that dude is such a lone wolf. He just created his own division with the TNA Heavyweight Championship title.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. That's actually a good one. Haha Jackson says Ed Edwards for TNA. He was the American Wolf.
Yeah.
That's what they called himself, yeah.
NJWP, what wrestler would you want to cook your favorite dish for you?
Grand Metalik would cook some enchiladas for me because that sounds delicious.
Baron could cook me a bone-in filet.
Wow, that'd probably be hella good. Or if I were to go the ribs route, it'd be Baron with the ribs. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Andy Godwin, given the illogical and frustrating booking that Bruce has brought to the table, does it make being positive about the product harder each week? I haven't really minded it. I just don't feel like there's huge stakes and nothing seems like it's must watch, you know? You reference back to the days when WWE was, Vince is worried about someone buying the company out from under him and these, huge storylines that seem to impact more than just participants involved.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, I appreciate that everything is kind of a bit more grounded now to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Sometimes it just feels a bit mundane.
So I saw. You're right. I was watching a clip because it was like the anniversary of the 2016 draft. When was Finn called up? 2016, right?
Yeah.
And that first Raw and how big it felt because of what you're talking about, the stakes involved. They were debuting the new title. They had that little mini tournament, and Finn Balor beat Roman Reigns, and it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just want that again. And I don't know, maybe you do need, for it not to play out in front of fans, it just doesn't feel as important. That's part of it for me is that, and I think that's one thing that AEW has been able to do, I think a little bit better, is that with the space that they're using, that kind of stuff it just feels more important when they're, when matches are made or when championships are decided or whatever. Like, I don't know, like it doesn't really feel that off from when there's fans. It does, but it kind of doesn't also. I don't know. Their presentation just works more for me in accepting that these wrestlers are all in like a world that matters.
Yeah.
Because when there's no fans there, it's almost as if it doesn't matter. And I don't know. I honestly don't know if they could make it feel like it matters without fans being around. I don't know. I have such a strong association with like the fans being there and like the fact that fans are able to like determine to a degree some storyline ebbs and flows. Like Sasha and Bayley. How do we know at this point that they wouldn't have been broken up because the fans would be so behind, like the fans cluing in to like Sasha looking at Bayley's title.
Yeah.
And them starting, like the fans coming around to certain storylines. The fans can carry that stuff. So I don't know, man. I don't. It's a weird thing.
It is. That's what I got.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Tonight we'll be coming to you live right here at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson for our Raw review. It goes up on YouTube right after that. So stay tuned for that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.